So, how was your week?
These videos are satiric reviews. You don't have to agree, but don't bitch about it.
Hey there, I'm Social Injustice Warrior V Infuso. And you know who had one of the greatest tag team careers?
That's gotta be Kane! That's gotta be Kane!
Although I'm sure that you already knew the answer to that question because you probably read the title of the video, so why am I bothering doing this? It's a good question. I don't really have an answer. Now, to some of you, that may sound surprising, as I'm sure a lot of you think of Kane as a solo act or a single star. I mean, the guy's won the Intercontinental Championship twice, the Hardcore title once, and he's a former 3-time world champion, winning the WWF, World Heavyweight, and ECW titles. But what plenty forget is that the man is actually a 12-time tag team champion, having been in a plethora of successful tag teams. So today, let's take a look back at the history of Kane, which won't be the last time we say that on this channel. Kane's first tag team run came when he teamed with fellow mask-wearing madman, Mankind, as they were both managed by Kane's kayfabe father, Paul Bearer. The team would seem like a match made in heaven, or more accurately, hell. But believe it or not, this is actually lower on the list of Kane's tag teams. Not because they weren't good together, but because the rest of these teams, for the most part, were that much better. Their run together wasn't a lengthy one, but it did have its fair share of memorable moments, such as the team winning the WWF Tag Team titles on 2 separate occasions. Kane would eventually turn on Mankind and begin teaming with probably his most notable tag team partner, his big brother, The Undertaker. The Undertaker and Kane, who are now collectively known as Brothers of Destruction, didn't have too many tag matches in their first run aligning together, but they did seem to interfere in each other's matches on a number of occasions. Their first team-up wouldn't last long, but the pairing would continue on and off throughout their tenure with the company, winning the WWF Tag Team titles twice and the WCW Tag titles once. Kane would also hold the Hardcore and Intercontinental title at different points in their teaming. And in between their on and off teaming, a lot of the time they would feud against each other. In 2001, their most successful run would take place, as they completely dominated the tag team division, running through any and everybody in the company, competing against legendary teams such as the Dudley Boys, Edge and Christian, the Two-Man Power Trip, Chronic, Booker T and Test, and Rikishi and Haku. Alright, well maybe the last ones could have been excluded from that list, but I was trying to make a point. They beat a lot of people. The brothers would win and carry both the WWF and WCW titles that year, but opposed to unifying them, they defend them on separate occasions. After seeing these two feud for as long as they had, it was nice to see this family come together one more time, with Undertaker actually teaching his baby brother how to hit the last ride. And Taker, I don't know that you want to do that. I mean, he already stole the rest of your finishers and moveset. You really want to add another to his arsenal? Though they split, they stayed on good terms with each other until Kane eventually turned on his brother, burying him alive, because he became too human. And Kane, you were teamed with him before that, so why the sudden change of heart? Also, you're unmasked and a lot more human than you've been in the last couple of years, so what are you talking about? This led to their WrestleMania feud, which Undertaker of course won. In 2006, they'd reunite to take on the makeshift tag team of Mr. Kennedy and MVP, who each brother had their own issues with respectively. In 2008, they'd feud with the short-lived La Familia stable, as Undertaker had just won the World Heavyweight title off Edge, and Kane had easily taken the ECW title off Chavo Guerrero. They'd then feud together over the World Heavyweight title in 2010, involving their father and father figure, Paul Bearer. More on that later. From that point on, they made numerous one-night-only reunions, including their Raw 1000 appearance, the build-up to Taker vs. Punk, and teaming with his brother and new partner Daniel Bryan when taking on The Shield in 2013. The team would also have a feud against the Wyatt family, in which they'd remain dominant despite all the years that passed. And in 2018, Kane would attack Cena on behalf of The Undertaker in the build-up to WrestleMania 24. Surprisingly, this still wasn't the end, as they teamed together for what seems like the last time at WWE Crown Jewel, when they fought against the original DX, Shawn Michaels and Triple H. And speaking of DX...
Break it down!
Kane would, in between his first and second run as a Brother of Destruction, team with his polar opposite, X-Pac. And despite their very different styles and personalities, they complemented each other pretty well. Somewhat reminiscent of Lenny and George from Of Mice and Men. You know, before Lenny and George actually made their WWE debut. And god damn it, Lenny, do you know how to do anything other than copy Kane? X-Pac would aid Kane to speak, and eventually he'd stop sounding like a speak and spell.
If I do not win the title,
My name is Kane, and I am a Rudy Poo candy ass.
I will set myself on fire.
Kane has got 2 words for you.
Speech thing.
You don't need this damn thing anymore.
Suck it.
Keep in mind that during this whole time, X-Pac was already part of a team, the biggest in the company at the time, D-Generation X. Like his team with Mankind, he and X-Pac would win the tag team titles twice, before X-Pac ultimately turned on Kane, and not long after, Kane's at the time girlfriend Tori would join him. And with his best friend and his girlfriend abandoning his trust, you can only imagine how the Big Red Machine must have felt.
Everybody betrayed me. I fed up with this world.
The betrayal was so strong that it'd be years before Kane teamed up with anyone again, outside of his brother.
The Big Red Machine, but who will his partner be?
Stand back! There's a hurricane coming through!
I don't believe it!
But eventually, Kane would team up with the superhero admirer, the Hurricane, to form the team of the Hurricane. I swear I'm not making that up. And to make that more clear, here's the spelling of it, so you understand what I'm saying. I mean, it's still just one of the guys' names. I mean, technically it's both of their names, but it's you know. Their tag team highlights include winning the tag titles, the backstage promos they'd have.
Kane and the Hurricane are the perfect match. We both wear masks. We both use the choke slam, and we have 2 of the most impressive physiques.
He's a freak, just like me. Just like all those Canaanites out there. Freaks are cool.
Oh my! That's
An All-American Kane.
And of course Green Hamburglar and the Big Red Monster breaking out choke slams on their opponents. The team had a surprising amount of chemistry, but their time together was sadly brief. So booking...
What's up with that?
The team's lifespan was so short that WWE.com actually listed them on their 50 tag teams you forgot existed. So if you don't remember this run, I don't blame you. Especially considering that he'd find himself in another tag team not long after that was much more successful, when he was paired with Rob Van Dam. And personally, this is probably my favorite on the list. RVD and Kane won over fans who'd initially probably raised a brow to the idea of a team between the two, winning the tag team titles once and the hearts of fans worldwide. The modern-day Odd Couple would get into backstage antics, with RVD trying to calm down the monster and further humanize him. And Rob, look, you don't have to. Booking's been doing that for years. I mean, just wait till Corporate Kane. Although it must have worked, because the man is now the mayor of Knox County. Like Kane and X-Pac, the team became friends rather quickly, and took on their fair share of tag teams, including the Dudley Boys, Vitamin C, and even a returning Legion of Doom. That match was so horrific, though, that their return began and ended the same night. I mean, just look at this. Hawk takes a move, gets right back up immediately. It's not like it was his finisher or anything. Oh, wait! Yes, it was. Good going. Thank you, guys. Thank you. You earned your money tonight. Like teaming with the Hurricane, the team's greatest moments didn't come from their in-ring work, although they did have a few good matches. But it instead came from their time together behind the scenes. I've taken the liberty of putting together this highlight reel.
You got that choke slam, and RVD's got the 5-star frog splash.
Batista and Orton took my mask. I couldn't just stay out there. Everybody would have seen my face.
So, well, you gotta have your mask to fight? Who are you, Spider-Man? And the Van Daminator. And the Van Terminator. Did I mention you got the choke slam? Yeah, man.
I feel like unleashing hell, the likes of which you have never seen.
Kane is quite disturbed about the current situation.
Come on, do it. You know you want to.
I'm not gonna do that.
Come on, you're dying to.
The Big Red Machine.
The Big Red Monster's next partner would be The Big Show, for a team creatively titled Kane and the Big Show. Whatever you guys are paying creative, let me just say, it's clearly not enough. The two big men would first team up in 2001 for a short stint, which would showcase them taking on the Dudley Boys. This went nowhere and they quietly disbanded. Later on in 2005, the team would reunite and find a lot more success this time around, running roughshod over the entire tag team division. The team was a dominant force, putting fear into the hearts of their opponents and inflicting pain on the rest of them. They'd win the WWE Tag titles at this point, defending them from all challengers. And believe you me, there were challengers, some of which who used, let's say, underhanded tactics.
That's it.
You gotta forklift, this one's a setup! Uh-oh! The Big Show!
Hey, look! I'm coming, Kane! Do you need some help?
How'd you get from in there out here?
There's another door.
I can't believe I pushed the forklift. There's another door? How stupid are you?
The team would split up, however, when it came time for Kane to promote his new film, See No Evil. And though the pairing would only last a year, they were successful enough to reunite again in 2011, this time to feud with the New Nexus and the Core, winning their second tag team titles from Justin Gabriel and Heath Slater. The two would find themselves teaming up yet again when both men joined the heel stable, The Authority, and more often than not, in that stable they were set to team together, beating down all the young upstarts at that year's Royal Rumble. But that's probably best left forgotten. Let's strike that from the record. They'd also team for a while after leaving The Authority and turning face in the process, where they feud with the Wyatt family and did nothing else of note. Yet somehow, this is Benedict Allen's favorite pairing, which honestly just gives me another reason not to trust him. I mean, RVD and Kane, Kane and The Undertaker, Kane and Daniel Bryan, spoiler alert, all on the list. But yet, he chooses Kane and The Big Show. I can't trust a man like that. I don't trust it. The team that's probably the most overlooked is Kane's short stint as a tag team partner to the Boogeyman, which is almost sad considering the strange and supernatural element of both characters. I mean, you would think that they'd be the perfect match. Ultimately, the pairing was just something for both men to do when creative had nothing else for them. They accomplished nothing and are mostly forgotten. Honestly, I don't think even they remember being a team. Later on, Daniel Bryan and Kane would start a rivalry as they were both competing for the WWE Championship and the affections of AJ. No, not that AJ, this AJ! Though the first one would also be interesting. The angle would also involve the champion, obviously, Chick Magnet Punk, who was also sweet on AJ. I wonder how that turned out for him. Bryan and Kane's issues would continue and lead to a series of matches before both men were placed in anger management.
Welcome to Anger Management. I'm Dr. Shelby.
Don't touch me, Harold.
No! You've got to be kidding me. You see, Harold, this is what I deal with on a daily basis.
Thank you for sharing, Kane.
No problem, Harold. Hit another one and ow! You hit another guy. Don't! Yes! Please! Yeah. Oh, God! Yes! Oh. Yes! Ow! Ow! Don't!
Yes! I have exactly what they're having.
I say yes. People say yes.
How I feel inside.
I say no. People still say yes. No! Yes! No! What do you want me to do?
Just fall backwards and Kane will catch you.
I will.
Okay, I think Harold needs medical attention.
Breathe in. Hey guys. I don't think so. Hey guys! Oh my goodness, you don't listen!
I thought as a final exercise, I would ask you, who do you think should be valedictorian?
You are the valedictorian!
No, you're the valedictorian.
You're the valedictorian!
You're the valedictorian.
Guys! You're the valedictorian!
And did I say RVD and Kane was my favorite Kane team? Because now I might have to reconsider. The couples therapy seemed to work out as the two would go on to form a tag team affectionately called Team Hell No. The name coming from Kane being from hell apparently, and Daniel Bryan constantly shouting no. But I guess it's better than Kane and the Big Show or Kane and RVD or Kane and X-Pac. My point is, at least they have a name. Their run would see them become tag team champions, while proclaiming that each of them solely was the reason that they won the belts. Or more accurately, proclaiming that they were the tag team champions.
I'm the tag team champion.
They defend their tag titles next.
I'm the tag team champion. I'm the tag team champion. I'm the tag team champion.
They'd hold the belts for some time, demolishing any and all competitors in the division. Hell, they even needed to make more tag teams just so Hell No had someone to beat. Big E's main roster debut was competing alongside Dolph Ziggler for a chance to win the tag team titles from them, which they failed. The team wasn't recognized for their in-ring prowess, but considering one of them was Daniel Bryan, I think it's fair to say it was definitely there. They got over with WWE audiences with their over-the-top personalities, their arguing antics which constantly saw the two clashing heads, and the ridiculous skits the company would put them in. Of course, they'd eventually split up and start a feud that had no reference whatsoever to their time together, despite both of them being one of the most over acts in the Fed at the time. But that wouldn't stop them from teaming up yet again in 2018. It was fun to see them 5 years later as a cohesive unit once again, but they didn't really get a chance to accomplish anything other than wasting time and giving both guys something to do. It was a sad end for an otherwise awesome team. And wow, that was one hell of a tag team career. Especially for a guy who's a single star. There was hardly a pairing that didn't work or come off as lacking. Not only did he win a title with nearly all his tag team partners, but almost each of these teams got over with the audiences, and were beloved for a time being. Kane may just be one of the most successful tag team wrestlers in the company, which once again is even more strange because you wouldn't think that Kane's a team player, or at least he hasn't thought of one. But maybe he should be. So to the VTards watching, let me know in the comments what you think. Which was your favorite Kane tag team partner and why? And what other single stars had a good tag team resume? Let me know. And I swear to God, if one of you say John Cena, if you say John Cena, I will immediately forcefully unsub you. I don't care if you're not subscribed. I will find a way, get you to subscribe, and then unsubscribe you. I don't want to go there. I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to do it. You know, I'm a calm guy. I try to be. You know, I don't want to do that to you. But if you say that, you give me no choice. I know they say that there's no opinion that could be wrong, but they're wrong in saying that, and your opinion is wrong, and it makes me angry. So with that being said, I'm the Social Injustice Warrior V Infuso, and if you like the words that came out of my mouth hole, and you too want to become a VTard, don't forget to like and subscribe. There's plenty more where this video came from. Follow me on Twitter because, hell, why not? It's not considered stalking if it's on the internet, am I right? And don't forget to join the Discord. I don't have anything catchy to add to that, but just join it. Just go do it. And if you have a free moment of time and a free $1 to spare, then head over to my Patreon, where for just $1, you too could help keep this boat afloat. And if you don't have that $1, but you do have a free moment of time, then hit the share button. It will help me out tremendously.
VTards, oh.